Shit, I used to live the street life. Hey, now I still keep the heat tight. Now nigga on gold like a green light. They say 144, nigga, you can get it. Ain't gotta tell me twice. Tryna stack a couple grand, get on some land, that'll put us on our feet in the field with the Warriors. And you know a nigga glorious, but we still keep it G though. Keep them tools Home Depot. Might hit him with the Rico. Hey, hit the nigga with the Rico. Hey, say they fuck with the rap game. What you looking at me for? So I know they can't stand me. That's why I keep a Glock handy. Might sip a little brandy. While I'm chilling with the family. Tell him a real nigga landed. Dressing all black like a bandit. Bitch, I ain't come to play. Bitch, I came to do that. No count all, nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No count all, nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. Back when we ball, ain't Babylon fall. You know the path a nigga walk. Nigga raised up, now I'm all in. And all I ever wanted was the wind and the big body bend. Now I'm gone in the wind, tryna stack a couple in. Now let's get it in, yeah, let's get it in. About to make shit tremble. 144, the rebel. About to turn it up a level. Heat the bitch up like lava. And it probably bring a whole eye mop. And know that we feel our father. And I'm headed for the top dollar. And ain't none gon' stop it. None gon' stop. No Calvador nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. No Calvador nigga came back down. I thought I'd let you know that I was gone, but I never left. I'm back now. I thought I'd let you know this brotherhood is a whip, and I never let it go. Never let it free. Shit, I kill for my niggas. I thought I'd let you know. You got no time to play. Ain't no other way. I got them soldiers on the way now. You got no time to play. Ain't no other way. I got them soldiers on the way now. I got them soldiers on the way now.
Israel with Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jerry Hunter. I'm Precinct Captain Yatazak out of Houston, Texas. Let me tell you something, man. Today is the Sunday Scripture Breakdown class. You got any questions, type them in. Do my best to answer them. You understand? Shameless plug, Isupk Houston is having a cookout this weekend. If you are in the area or anywhere around Houston or Texas or anything, come out and, you know, enjoy your brothers, eat, drink, chill, you know what I'm saying? It's about to be a glorious week. All right, so now just to get into the lesson, get into the topic. The topic of the lesson today is, the class is understanding Paul. A lot of people don't understand Paul because you can't understand Paul without understanding the Old Testament. The Old Testament is what Paul taught. He taught the Old Testament in a way, he taught the Old Testament in a way that only we can understand it. He taught that in the New Testament. That's all he did. But you don't understand that if you only read the Bible as if the Old Testament means one thing and the New Testament means something different. Another thing that you're missing in your understanding is in the Bible that we have before the Catholic took out the Apocrypha, before the Catholic Church took the Apocrypha out of what we have as the Bible, you read the Bible and you hear about the Babylonian captivity, you hear about the Persian captivity, you hear about the Grecian captivity, and then you hear about the Roman captivity. But when you read the Bible, in the Old Testament, it only talks about Babylon, Persia, but no Greece. So when the New Testament starts to talk about Greece, you are confused about the Greece part because you hear Rome and that's what you think it is. You think it's just Rome. But you don't know it was something in between that. Hold on one second. So, the water. So you most definitely have to understand the Old Testament to understand the New Testament. Period. Point blank. Somebody, give me Romans 11.
Come, sir.
You know what I'm talking about? Give me Romans 11, what Paul said he was.
Come, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid.
Go ahead.
For I also am an Israelite.
Go ahead.
Of the seed of Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
of the tribe of Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. God hath not cast away his people.
Read that part again.
God hath not cast away his people.
What is Paul saying to the people? He's telling the people, I have not cast you away. That's what he's saying. You understand? He's saying, listen, I'm an Israelite. I am also of the seed of Benjamin. So I'm talking to my people. Hold on, read that part again.
Kind of concert. Verse 2. Verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid.
Read the part where he gave his pedigree.
For I also am an Israelite.
Wait. He said he what?
I also am an Israelite.
Also. You don't tell we don't say to white people that I'm also an Edomite, because we are not Edomites. He's talking to a specific group of people. He's talking to his people. He's saying, listen, I'm just like y'all because I also am an Israelite. Keep reading.
Kind of concert. Of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God hath not cast away his people, which ye foreknew.
That's what our people got to understand. The Lord ain't cast us away. In the Old Testament, he didn't get rid of us. He separated himself for us for a time, but he didn't go and get new people. That's what people's missing.
Right.
And you won't understand nothing that Paul teach if you don't understand that. Now let's go to the book of Daniel chapter 2.
Come.
We're going to start at verse 30.
Come concert. The book of Daniel chapter 2, verse 30. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living.
So this is what happened. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream. And he told his wise men to tell me the dream. I'm not going to tell you what my dream was. But since you are so wise and you have so much understanding, I want you to tell me my dream. And I want you to tell me what it means. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine somebody telling you, oh, so I pay you to be wise. I pay you to be someone that I come to because you say you got knowledge from the Lord. Well, tell me my thoughts. I had a dream last night. Tell me what my dream was about, and tell me what my dream was and what it was about. If you don't, I'm killing you. I'm not killing just you. I'm killing all of you and the other wise men that you raising up, because obviously y'all are not wise. Y'all are playing me. Y'all are charlatans. This is what Nebuchadnezzar was saying to his wise men. And Daniel, being a true servant of the Most High, he said, I'll get you an answer. So Daniel is explaining to him. What is he saying? Read that part again.
But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living.
He's letting them know, look, this vision that I'm finna tell you that you had, I don't have the power to tell you this vision. You know what he's doing? He's giving the Most High the credit before he even started talking. You're like, now what I'm about to say, this is the Lord, because I don't even know if this is right or wrong, but you do. Keep reading.
But for their sakes, that shall make known the interpretation to the king.
Keep reading.
And that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart.
Go ahead.
Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Now, he's telling this man about a dream this man had. Now, just think about that. Imagine somebody come up to you and tell you about the dream you had last night. And I'm talking about so accurate that it makes you remember it. That's what Daniel did to the king. Keep reading.
This image, verse 32, this image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay.
Go ahead.
Verse 34, thou sawest till that a stone was cut without hands, which smote the image upon his feet, that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broke to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth.
Now, let me tell you something. Imagine you have a dream about your body being on the top of something, and your head is gold. And under your head, you got brass shoulders and arms. And then your legs is iron. And then your toes are clay. You know what you're going to do? You're going to say, this is just a dream. I had one of them dumb dreams last night, and it was nothing. But what Nebuchadnezzar knew, that there was some meaning to this. This wasn't just an ordinary dream. And he wanted to find out what it meant. And he had to come to a man of the Lord. What's important is for us to understand that everybody that claims to be a man of the Lord is not a man of the Lord. And there's a way to prove it. There's a way to prove it. You can tell by what he says and what he does if he's a man of the Lord. Because there's some things people that's fake and phony, they can't do. They can look a certain way, they can talk a certain way, but there's some things that they can't actually do. This is one of the things that Daniel, the edge he had over him. And if you don't know about this story, the New Testament won't make sense to you. If you don't know about this, if this is just a story to you, then you are missing the whole point of something that's coming in the New Testament. You understand? Keep reading.
Sir. Verse 36. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king.
Go ahead.
Thou, O king, art a king of kings, for the God of heaven hath given thee kingdom, power, and strength, and glory.
That's what he's telling the king. He's like, King Nebuchadnezzar, there'll never be another king greater than you. You are the king of kings. You are the best king to ever rule the earth, on this earth. That's what you are. And the Most High, he put you in this seat. He gave you all power, all glory, and all strength. Why? To do what?
To destroy it. Destroy its power.
Yes. And also to do another thing to us. And what is that?
To put us in captivity, sir?
To put us in slavery. Because we wanted to follow them. So he put us under the baddest MFer. He put us under a stiff heathen that was all powerful, all with all kind of strength, and the Lord did it to punish us. See what I'm saying? Keep reading now. There you go. All right.
Come on, sir.
Read the next verse.
Come on. And wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven hath he given into thy hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art this head of gold.
This is you, Nebuchadnezzar. This is what you see in your dream. This is your rulership, your kingdom. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 39. And after thee shall arise another kingdom, inferior to thee,
Right.
and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Go ahead.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdues all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Keep reading.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay.
Keep reading.
Khan. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
What is Daniel explaining to him? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, he's explaining to him the breakdown of the kingdoms that come after him, and they're going to get weaker and weaker after his rulership.
Right. He's letting him know what's about to happen in history after you. That's what it is. He's like, this is your kingdom. Then there's going to be another king that's going to come. They're not going to be as strong as you, but they're going to be solid. Then there's going to be another king that's going to come. They're going to have a lot of land. They're going to cover a lot of ground, but they're not going to be as solid as the two kingdoms before. And then there's going to be another kingdom that's going to spread all over. And they're going to be strong too, but they're not going to be as strong as you.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, this is speaking about the captivities, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Keep reading.
Khan, sir, verse 43. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
They should do what?
They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
The white man has mixed himself with the seed of man by trying to come together with them. See, at first it used to be we're going to be separate and go to war with everybody and take their land. But the white man used a new tactic. Peace. Unity. That's what he used. That was his way to power. He was about killing, but making allies. And unifying. And this is what he's doing. He's trying to come up with a new way of ruling the world. Keep reading.
Khan. But they shall not cleave one to another.
But they will what?
But they shall not cleave one to another.
This unity ain't gonna work. They gonna try to make it work because it sounds so good. It makes sense to any dummy. Sounds like the if you want peace on earth, then just unify. But that's not how it works. Because you don't put apples in the same bucket you put lemons in because they're both fruits. They don't go together. Just like we don't go together with everybody.
Right.
Keep reading.
Khan. Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
The same way I just used that analogy. Even as apples are not mixed with lemons.
Right.
Keep going.
Khan. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, And the kingdom shall not be left to other people,
Mm-hmm.
but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Which kingdom is this talking about?
The kingdom of heaven.
The kingdom of heaven. Give him a hand. Now, let me show you something. If you read the Bible and you believe the Bible, then you think Paul is teaching other people to come into the kingdom of heaven. But you can't think that if you read this.
That's right.
You can't think that. But what your pastor said, we got to do away with the Old Testament because that's done away with. That's not, that, we don't have any use for that. But this is how you understand what they were talking about, because they always say, as it is written. It was written aforetime. Remember the days of old. They refer back to the Old Testament because that's what they taught. Paul was teaching to his people because he was an Israelite also. That's exactly what he said. Right. He said, for I am an Israelite also, of the seed of Benjamin, and of Abraham. I'm just like, he's letting his people know that this message is for them because this kingdom is not going to be left to other people. The kingdom of heaven, read that part again. Read that part again.
Con.
44.
And in these in the days of these kings,
in the days when these people are in rulership, when these kingdoms have been done with, and while they are still sitting on the throne, while Donald Trump is sitting on the throne, while Putin is sitting on the throne, while Jong-un, whatever his name, he's sitting on his throne, while all of them is in rulership, the Lord is going to do what?
Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom?
He's going to do what to a kingdom?
Set up a kingdom.
How is he going to set up a kingdom? When is he going to set up a kingdom? When is the kingdom being set up?
Salaki, sir, in the days of these kings.
So when is that?
Right now.
The kingdom is being set up right now. Salaki. That's wrong. The kingdom is being set up right now. Keep reading.
Khan. And the kingdom, Salaki, which shall never be destroyed.
What's going to happen to this kingdom?
It will never be destroyed.
We're not going to share this kingdom with nobody else, and we will never be destroyed. David was giving, Daniel was giving Nebuchadnezzar a walk through history. Why can't we understand that we are living in those 10 toes?
Right.
Why can't we understand that Rome was during the time of Christ? That was Rome. And then now we are living in the 10 toes, in the clay. And we look at these people as if they are so strong, but they are not the head of gold. They are clay. This is weak, but we are weaker. Do you see that? This kingdom is really the weakest kingdom, but it's really the worst because they have a new tactic. All of those other kingdoms, you know what we knew? And during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, during the time of the body of brass, during the time of the legs of iron, what did we know?
Salaki, sir, we knew that they were our enemies and they were our oppressors.
Yes, we knew that, but it's something else that we knew.
We knew that we knew our nationality.
Give him a hand. That's what we knew. We knew we were the Israelites. We knew that we were the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We knew that we was the Lord's chosen people. In this captivity, we don't know that. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we from. We don't know who we come from. We think we from Africa. We think we from, everywhere other than Israel.
Right.
So it's a new tactic they're using. This tactic is in our mind more so than anything. Yeah, we got hung and killed and all that stuff, but the captivity we went through there was worse. According to what Daniel was saying, according to the power of these empires.
Right.
Nebuchadnezzar's empire was stronger than America. But America has every tool that Nebuchadnezzar had. And the empire after that. And all of these other empires. But they're still the clay. You understand? Read the next verse.
Khan. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Keep reading.
For as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
Let me tell you something. What's that stone that was cut out?
Christ.
That's why I asked. That stone that's cut out is the nation of Israel under the Spirit of Christ. That's what the stone is. That stone that's going to destroy this place is us. We're going to be the ones that destroy this place in the Spirit of Christ, because the Lord cut this stone out. It wasn't cut out by hands. Man's hands didn't cut out. The Lord choosing us to fight this war for him. That's how it's going to be done. The Lord is doing it. You understand? And that stone is going to become a great mountain. At first it's going to start out very small, but this nation is going to grow, and it's going to fill the whole earth. Didn't you just read that?
Sir.
You read that it was going to fill the whole earth in verse, verse 35. At the end of 35. That great mountain, and it filled the whole earth. That's what we're going to do. We're going to rule everything under our king. You understand? Now, let me get Daniel chapter 8.
Salaki, what verse, sir?
We're going to start at 3.
Come. The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns. And the 2 horns were high, but the one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last.
Let me tell you something. If you don't understand this, you will not understand Paul's writings. You won't understand the New Testament, because this all had to happen in order for Paul to come and do what he had to do. You understand? Daniel was not wrong in his prophecy, but you don't know that. Keep reading.
Verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will, and became great.
Keep reading.
And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Read down to 9.
And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran into him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. And out of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great, toward the south, toward the east, and toward the pleasant land.
Let me tell you something. What's the pleasant land? Go ahead.
The pleasant land is Israel.
The pleasant land is Israel. Now, this is all history that's being told in this dream. Now, Nebuchadnezzar's having another dream. So now he's getting more understanding on what the first dream meant. First dream was a setup for the second dream. It was a continuation. It was a part 2. It was a sequel. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So he had this first dream to explain to him the different kingdoms that was coming. Right? Now is getting more in detail. Right? Now, drop down to verse 20.
Con.
Yeah, verse 20.
Verse 20. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
See, the first part of the dream, the rams that had the 2 horns, those 2 horns were 2 nations, which was Persian and the Medes. That's history. Persian and the Medes. Guess who conquered Babylon after Nebuchadnezzar? The Persian and the Medes. This is what it's talking about. The ram that thou sawest with the 2 horns were the kings of Persia and Medes. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Stop. The great goat is who?
Is the king of Grecia.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Give me 1 Maccabees 1:1.
Come.
Now we're going to help you understand. Read it.
Select.
1 Maccabees 1:1.
Come, sir. The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
Did you hear this? This is history. What Christian has ever heard Alexander the Great in the Bible? None.
Right.
You know why? Because they don't read the Bible. They get taught the Bible. We teach the Bible in the correct context because we are the true priests and prophets of the Lord.
That's right.
The reason they don't understand Paul's writings is because they don't even know this even happened. They don't even know where to put this in their mind.
Right.
But it's in the Bible. The scripture just said the first king of Greece was Alexander the Great. That's who he was. Is there some more on that? It said he was the son of who?
And it happened that after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Now, if you want to, you can look up Alexander the Great and look up his father, and it's going to say he was the son of Philip, successor over Darius, the king of Persia. Look it up. Google it. It's on Google. And it's in the Bible.
Right.
Because the Bible is a history book. You understand? Go back to Daniel.
Come, sir. Verse 22. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
Why does it say 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power? Who is the his? First of all, who is the his is talking about?
Salaki, sir. The his is Alexander the Great.
Yes. He's going to stand up. They're going to stand up in Greece, but they're not going to be under Alexander. Why are they not going to be under Alexander?
Because Alexander died.
Because he died. See what I'm saying? This is history. Those 4 people were Ptolemy, they were Seleucus, Cassander, and
Antiochus or Antiphanes?
I think it is. No, Antiochus Epiphanes is the way you spell his name is Antigones. That's the way you spell his name. Those 4 men were the men that took over after Alexander. Those were the 4 kings that took over, and they all had different prophecies. But they told us that we couldn't be Jews anymore. We couldn't be Jews anymore. What did we have to become in order to live under those people?
Salaki, sir, Greek.
Greek. That's what we had to become. We had to become Greeks. Now, give me 2 Maccabees 6 and 9. So you can hold up. Now keep reading that so we can get the whole story of the parable. Go ahead.
Sir, verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up.
Go ahead.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people.
And that's the person who took over Jerusalem, which is who?
Oh, so like I said, is that Emperor Titus?
Who was ruling when Christ was born?
Oh, King Herod. Salaki.
Yes. Keep reading.
Khan. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And
what's the craft that he's going to use? Go ahead. Keep reading.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace.
By what?
And by peace.
By what?
And by peace.
Shall he what?
Destroy many.
Listen. Let me tell you how you destroy people. Peace. That is how we are in this predicament we're in now. Because of talk of peace. But by the talk of peace, it destroys many countries. And if you don't want to get under the peace of Rome, if you don't want to get under the peace of your oppressor, then they cut you off. Then you are at war with them. Then you are the enemy. You are the bad guy when you don't want to give your members over to them. When you don't want to take a knee. When you don't want to sing their national anthem. Salute their flag. Then you're an enemy of the state. By peace, he destroyed many. Keep reading.
Come, sir. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
But he gonna be what?
He shall be broken without hand.
The white man is going to try to fight against our king, but he's not going to win. You understand? He's going to be broken. And that's what we got to understand. When Paul taught, Paul was teaching about the kingdom of heaven coming for us. But you don't know that because you think when Paul talked to the Gentiles or to the Greeks, he was talking to heathens. Well, there are no contradictions in the Bible.
That's true.
That would be a contradiction. For over here, it says the kingdom will not be left to other people, but over there, it says it's for all people. The all people is all of Israel.
Right.
That's the all people.
That's true.
We're going to go into it. Now give me 2 Maccabees 6 and 6.
Come. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient.
Read verse 5 and then 6 so they can understand.
Khan. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Stop. What the white man did was he took our culture and made it a sin. Now listen to what I'm saying. He took our culture and made it a crime. Now, what is he doing? right now in America, what is he doing right now? He's legalizing sins against our culture. He's doing the same thing another way. He's legalizing things that are wrong in our culture. Back then, he punished us for following our culture. Now, he gives us free will to do things against our culture. He's doing the same thing, just different. Because the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
He's the deceiver. He's great at confusing you, deceiving you, and manipulating you into doing the absolute wrong thing that is going to destroy you. He has cigarettes all around the world that say, if you smoke them, you're going to get lung cancer. That's what the box said. Right. And if you ask anybody that's smoking a cigarette, as they slap in the box, hey man, you know what that box say? Yeah, I know it say you get cancer. And they don't care. You understand? It's the same thing. Keep reading. Drop down to 8.
Verse 8. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews.
Against who?
Against the Jews.
Go ahead.
That they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
That's what the white man wanted. He made a decree to all the heathen nations, to the heathens, to say this: make these Jews celebrate your holidays. Make them partake in your sacrifices. So now what are you doing? Celebrating Christmas, celebrating Valentine's Day, Easter, New Year's, all of these, Halloween, all of these pagan holidays that are destroying you by doing it. Keep reading.
Concert. Verse 9. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death.
What should happen to them?
Should be put to death.
Go ahead.
Then might a man have seen the present misery.
How many people has ever heard of Jacob's trouble? You ever heard of Jacob's trouble? This is Jacob's trouble. You think Jacob's trouble started, at what? Recently. We've been in Jacob's trouble. Jacob been in trouble.
Right.
When were we not in trouble?
Right.
When were we not being killed and oppressed and enslaved under other nations?
Right.
Keep reading.
Concert. Verse 10. For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children.
Now it's going to give you some detail on some women that said, I'm going to keep my customs. I'm going to follow my law. Well, there was these 2 women that was outside walking around with their babies circumcised. They made covenants with the Lord with giving their sons foreskins to the Most High because that's our custom. Go ahead.
Concert. Whom when they had openly led round about the city, the babes handing at their breast, they cast them down headlong from the wall.
Now listen at that. These women got their babies out, they breastfeeding them as they walk down the street, and the babies are naked. The heathen take the babies and throw the baby head first over the wall for following the custom of our ancestors. That's when guess what? You see your cousin kids get thrown over a wall, and y'all trying to hold on to being Jews, what are you going to say? Man, I ain't no Jew. I'm a Greek. They killing niggas out here. They getting rid of us for being Jews.
Right.
I'm a Greek. All right, dang, you got it. All right, I'm a Greek. I'm a Greek. And that's what we did. We started to become Greeks. You know what? Christ said it best when he talked to John, when he was talking about John the Baptist. He said, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. Do you know what that means? The kingdom of heaven is within us. And that is our integrity. That is our will to fight against the world, the world being against us. That is us saying, I'd rather die than sin. Well, we started to suffer violence, and the violent took that spirit of us out of us by force. So now, to us, it was better to live than to die.
Right.
When it used to be better to die than to live a sinner. But we started to compromise because we became what?
Salaki, sir, cowards.
On top of
Oh,
it,
Salaki, Greeks.
Greeks. And guess what? Greeks don't have no integrity. Greeks don't have no life to live by because they believe you only live once. Live your life however you want to live it, the best you can live it, because you only live once. Do your thing. And that's what we start to put in our spirit, because whatever God you serve, whatever lifestyle you live is the God you serve. Does that make sense? Whatever lifestyle you live, that's the God that you worship. That's the God you give your reverence to. You give your members, you bow down before that God. That's what you do. By the life you live. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it. Look up the word thug and give me the definition for a thug.
Council.
Give me the second definition for thug. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir.
Anybody got it?
I got it, sir. Salaki. Thug. A member of a religious organization.
Wait. No. I'm a thug because I'm in the streets. I don't believe in nothing. I'm in the streets. This ain't this ain't no religion. What does the definition say?
Concert. A member of a religious organization of robbers and assassins in India.
Guess what? If you are a thug, you are a part of a religious organization.
Right.
Of robber and thieves. That's what y'all do. What y'all do is steal and rob. That's your religion. That's the God you serve. Keep reading.
Concert. An organization of robbers and assassins in India, devotees of the goddess Kali.
Of who?
Of the goddess Kali.
Of whom?
Of the goddess.
No, Jesus Christ.
Of the goddess Kali.
So guess what? You a thug, you worship God, you worship Kali. If you are Greek, you worship white Jesus. If you are Muslim, if you are Islamic, if you are Sunni, if you live the life of a Muslim, then you worship Allah. Your lifestyle is a religion.
Right.
Keep reading.
Concert. The thugs waylaid and strangled their victims, usually travelers, in a ritually prescribed manner.
See that? That's what you're doing. So what you are really doing is taking on the spirit of another God when you put your spirit down. When you stop being an Israelite, when you stop being a Jew and you become someone else, then you pick up another God. That's what's happening. You got something you want to say? Are you too old? Okay, let's do it. All right, now go back to 2 Maccabees. And start back at where we was at.
Verse 11.
Read that.
And the others that had run together into caves nearby to keep the Sabbath days secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together, because they had made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day.
Have you ever heard about the 7 brothers that were killed? The 7 brothers that were killed in the book of Maccabees is because they didn't want to eat pork. They said, I'm not going to be a Greek. And me being a Greek is me eating pork. Do you know You know how, like, to a Christian, that's not a big deal. But to a Jew, that is homosexuality.
Right.
Bacon, I would rather die. That's what they said. Keep reading.
Come. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but they that judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
For what?
For a chastening of our nation.
This is what the Lord is going to put, this is why the Lord put us through this. To chastise us. To get us to know how important what he gave us is.
Right.
He gave us something that was absolutely life or death. Living or dying. Doing it or not doing it makes up whether you're going to live or die. That's what that is. And that's why it's so important that you understand Paul in the book of Galatians. Give me Galatians chapter 3 and 28.
On what concept?
Because all Christians pull this scripture as if this is the way to loving white people. Read it.
On what concept? The book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek.
Oh, see, brother? Christ died now. There's no difference between the Jews and the Greeks. Let me ask you a question. Who were the Greeks that Paul was teaching to?
The Jews are the one.
Say it again.
The Jews, that was in Rome and in Antioch and all of that, the Hellenistic Jews.
Absolutely. Let me prove it to you even more. Every one of those promises that the disciples or the apostles went to were lands that the Greeks conquered. They were Greek lands. You see, like Ptolemy was over, was it Egypt? He was over Egypt. Ptolemy was with the Greeks, but they went and conquered Egypt. So when he was talking to the Ethiopian, he was talking to someone who was under the rule of the Greeks, living as a Greek, not knowing who he really was anymore because he lived as an American or a Jamaican or a Haitian. That's how we are today.
Right.
We don't know our culture. We don't know who we are. So we have to separate the line between the Jews and the Greeks. Some of us were raised in the truth, like Captain Ariel.
Right.
Captain Ariel was raised in the truth. So all his life, he knew he was a Jew. I was a Greek because I just found out I was an Israelite yesterday. You see what I'm saying? So now, since Christ died, Captain Ariel and myself can come together and there will be no difference between the Jews or the Greeks.
Right.
Because when we were in the world, we couldn't come back before Christ died. If you were raised a Greek, if you missed one Passover, you was out of the nation, kicked out of the Commonwealth of Israel. If you ate pork, you was going to die. So you had no opportunity to change. But since Christ came and died, now there is no difference between the Jews or the Greeks. Keep reading.
Kanawakan. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free.
Mm-hmm.
There is neither male nor female.
Mm-hmm.
For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
So this is what I want to know, the Christians. Since Christians always want to pull this and say there's no difference between Jew or Greek, are they saying now, is this the scripture that they pull to say it's okay to be transsexual? Because they say there's no difference between male or female. So is that what they use? Are they saying now, oh, see, I could be a woman and a man or whatever I want to be because ain't no difference? Shut up, dummy.
Right.
You stupid. That's why you need to come and get in class. You don't argue that now male and female is together. We all the same. No. All of us can now come back into this nation and be a family again because of what our King did.
Right.
You don't understand that because you don't understand the Old Testament. You don't understand Paul because you don't understand what was written aforetime. You got to understand what was written aforetime to understand what's going on now. Give me Acts 11.
Come on, concept.
Acts 11 and like 19, something like that.
The book of Acts, chapter 11, verse 19. Now they which were scattered abroad upon the persecution that arose about Stephen traveled as far as Phoenice and Cyprus and Antioch, preaching the word to none but unto the Jews only.
Who they teaching?
To none but unto the Jews only.
They was out there teaching nobody but the Israelites.
Right.
They was going out there on the streets and saying, "Hey, what's your father's nationality?" "Oh, my father is." "Oh yeah, you was. Come on, let me holler at you. Let me teach you." Christ wasn't teaching no heathens. The disciples wasn't teaching no heathens. The prophets wasn't teaching no heathens. Nobody was teaching heathens. Because heathens are going to be our slaves.
That's right.
That's what they're here for. They're workmen. What they are. They are going to be workmen in the kingdom of heaven. But you don't understand that because you want Paul to save everybody, because you want to mix yourself with the other nations like the white man trying to mix himself with us.
Right.
You see what the scripture said about the mixing? He said the mixing didn't work. He said he just tried to deceive many with peace, but destroyed them.
Right.
You are going to get destroyed by this unity. You understand? Is this among there? Give me Acts 20.
Come on, concept.
I think 20 and 21 is what I want.
The book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 21. Testifying both to the Jews and also to the Greeks, repentance toward God and faith toward our Lord Yahushua.
Wow. Who are these Greeks?
Scattered Israelites, the Jews.
Scattered Israelites. These Greeks were people who were scattered abroad, and they were called Greeks because they lived the lifestyle of Greeks. They ate pork, they ate crab, shrimp, and lobster, and they celebrated Christmas. But these Greeks were really Negroes. They were really South American Indians, what we call today.
Right.
They were really Dominicans and Haitians, Puerto Ricans, what we so call them today. But they were living in a land under these other people, so they started to be called those other people. What are we called today, right now?
Americans.
Americans. Are we Americans? By citizenship, but by nationality, we're Israelites.
Right.
We are Jews. Well, by citizenship, they were Greeks because they lived under the Greeks. They were Americanized. But you don't understand that because you don't understand the Old Testament.
That's right.
It's important that you come in here and learn the truth because in the Isupk, we teach the entire Bible. We don't pick a part of the Bible to read. You know, this is my favorite part. I like this book.
Right.
I like Romans, Corinthians, Galatians, and Ephesians.
Right.
I don't like Revelations because it's too scary.
Right.
Christ died, and you know, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and John. So, you know, he taught to the Jews, but he sent the apostles to the Greeks and the Gentiles. So Christians got a handful of books they can pull out of because they can't read the whole Bible because the whole Bible contradicts their philosophy.
Right.
The entire Bible teaches that from Genesis to Revelation that salvation is for Israel.
Right.
But it's a few books that they don't understand that make them feel like it's for everybody. And it's not. So we got to do classes like this to break it down, to prove to you that salvation is only for Israel. Everybody followers of Christ until he said, go to John 4:20. Go to John 4:20. Everybody believe in Jesus until he say stuff like this.
Come on, concert. The book of John, chapter 4, verse 20. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship.
This is an African woman talking to Christ, and she thinks she's an Israelite because she's a Samaritan, and the Samaritans were raised in our land because of the Assyrian captivity. During the Assyrian captivity, these Ethiopians were moved in our land because we were taken out of our land. And they came into our land and started to live there and started to get eaten by bears and all kinds of animals. So they had to go and get a priest and say, Salaki, what do we need to do to survive in this land? So a Levitical priest goes back into the land with them and teach them what we used to do in the land so that they could survive.
Right.
So generations and generations of staying in our land for a long time, it makes them say, I'm a Jew too. I'm Igbo. I'm Ethiopian. And so she's talking to Christ and saying what? Our fathers what?
Our fathers worshipped in this mountain.
She's like, I'm an Israelite. Our fathers worship in this mountain right here. Go ahead.
And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship.
She's like, but Christ, you saying that we should be in Jerusalem, but from what I know, my ancestors, what I was taught, they worship in this mountain. What Christ say? Did Christ say, you one of us?
Lies.
Did Christ say, you going to be joined with us, you my sister? What did he say?
Verse 21. Yahushua says unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
What is he saying? It's going to come a time when you ain't going to worship in the mountain or in Jerusalem. Is he joining her to him? What is he doing to her?
Separating.
He's separating himself from her because she was not him. She was not his family. She was a Samaritan. She would have been a Greek. You understand? She would have been someone else of another nation. Keep reading.
Come on, concert. Verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what.
Read it again.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
You pray and you ask the Lord for help and guidance and strength, and you say that the Lord is your Father, but you don't even know who you're praying to. You worship, but you know not what. Because what?
We know what we worship.
Who is we? The Jews. You praying, white man, Joel Osteen, but you don't know what you praying to. But we do. Because this is our records. This is our book. We know what we worship. Because who did Christ say salvation was for? Keep reading.
Khan. For salvation is of the Jews.
Now, so you mean to tell me Christ don't know who salvation is for? Christian? I thought it was what would Jesus do? Now is what will Paul do? Because Paul your Jesus. You believe in Paul because you don't understand him. And what he teach fits your agenda. What he teach makes you feel comfortable with Bobby at work. You can still be comfortable with Bobby at work. Just look at him like, in the future, you're going to be a slave. That's how I'm comfortable with him. Hey, how you doing, Bobby? All right. You going to the gym this week?
Right.
Man, you need it, man.
Right.
You gonna need it. Work on that back. Because I know that my king said that salvation is for who?
For the Jews.
For the Jews. Now, since we were called Greeks, Paul is saying, look, there are no difference between the Jew or the Greeks. The bond or the free, the male or the female, we are all one now. You are not a Greek anymore. If you come and circumcise your heart, change your mind, get your mind right, you'll be accepted.
I just wanted to say that what white person was in bondage at that time?
Give him a hand. What white people was in bondage? Who was the apostle to the Edomites? Since Christ died for everybody, then who was the one that the Lord sent to go and teach the Elamites? Who was sent to Ishmael? Who was sent to Edom? Nobody. But there were people sent to Thessalonica. They were sent to Galatia. They were sent to Ephesia because there were Jews there. Just like in the UPK, we have brothers that are in Africa. But we're not going over there yet. We more focused about the billions of brothers that we got over here that's not being taught. In Puerto Rico and Dominica and you know what I'm saying, and Haiti and Nicaragua that we haven't taught yet. We're not finna go over there and try to handpick and comb through we'll let the Lord deal with them. Right. The Lord said He gonna deal with it. He got his elect. He know what He doing. But we gonna go and get the ones that we know we can find. That's what the apostles did. I'm pretty sure it was some Negroes staying amongst the Edomites. I'm pretty sure it was some Native Americans staying amongst the Amorites and the Moabites, but there was no apostles sent to them. You know why? Because it makes more sense to go to where your people are. And the apostles went where we were. And we were under the Greeks. All right? I'm done. Anybody got any questions? Matter of fact, give me James 1:1 and give me 1 Peter 1:1 just to bring it home.
Come on, sir. The book of James, chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes.
Now stop, wait a minute, hold up, you're confusing me. I thought Jesus died for everybody. Now this is way after Jesus died. We in the book of James. James is a few books away from Revelations. So why is this not saying James, a servant of God and the Lord Jesus Christ, to the whole world of the planet Earth? He never said that. He said, James, read it again.
James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
This letter was to who? The 12 tribes. In the book of James. Did he say anybody else? That's it. Give me 1 Peter 1:1.
Come on. The book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ.
We go another one. Now Peter, who was Peter in the school? Go ahead, Morgan.
He was the highest ranking man in Israel at the time.
Peter was commanding general.
Right.
He was the highest ranked man in the nation. He's the one that Christ left the nation to. He was like, on this church will I build my rock.
Right.
I'm gonna build the nation on you. You're the leader. So this is Peter. Peter is saying what? Read it.
Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia.
Who are the strangers that are scattered?
12 tribes.
The 12 tribes. Give them a hand. It's very simple to understand when you read the Bible. Instead of being taught, instead of you going in the church hearing 2 scriptures and 10 songs,
Right.
you hear most songs in the church than Bible verses.
Right.
And guess what? They got the Bible verses on the screen. They can put the verse on the screen. If you ain't got a Bible, you can read the screen on the teleprompter.
Right.
And they only pulled 2. You stand up when the preacher teach, and he got 2 scriptures, and everybody read, and then he say, let the church say what?
Amen.
Amen. And then you shut the Bible.
That's it.
And last week at work, when I was at work last week, The Lord showed me a vision about the seed that was going to be laid in the church today. Hey, Pastor, say that. And now you finna learn about the money you going to get that you ain't going to never get. No, you finna learn about the money that you going to get for giving him money, but the money that you ain't going to never get for the next 20 or 30 minutes. And then you're going to come out on the street with us who read the Bible all day and night, sleep with it like this. Wake up. I left off right here. Right here. That's us. And you're going to come out on the street with us and say, my pastor said, and we're going to look at you like you boo-fool the fool. Right? You telling me what somebody who can't read, who never read the Bible say. Come on. Like Jeremiah said, I'm telling you this out of love. If you love yourself, you'll come and get an ISUP and the Commander Junior Hub.
Right.
If you care about the Lord, you'll come and get an ISUP and the Commander Junior Hub. If you want to learn the truth, you'll come and get an ISUP and the Commander Junior Hub.
Right.
Other than that, if you don't, then you just like being in the situation you like not knowing the Bible. Because this is the place you'll learn it. That's it. Yeah. Do what you want to do. Any questions? Y'all boys y'all know the Bible? Okay. Well, I ain't gonna argue with you. No questions in class? You got a question?
I got a question, so Salakia. In this same chapter in 1 Peter, verse 14, like, of course, you know, we understand, well, verse 15, I'll start at verse 14, so. It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 14. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, going back to what you were saying earlier, sir, obviously we understand that, you know, the records are separate, and we are separate in our conversation because we aren't including everybody, but Christians would say being holy in all manner of conversations means talking of the Lord, or, you know, like we know as white Jesus.
Right.
But this holy means, do we only speak of the 12 tribes, or do we only speak to the 12 tribes?
Okay. So this is the question. When we go to camp, who are we teaching?
Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans.
Right. But who hears us?
Everyone.
Why do we teach where everybody can hear us? Go ahead.
So like, sir, we teach so that like everyone can hear us. I mean, we only out there for our people, but for those people that are like down the street, you know what I'm saying? Like basically, like we already have like an audience in front of us, but we crying out loud to the wind, you know, that people down the block hears they come. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the best way I could put it.
Okay, go ahead, Isupk.
It's also our job to warn the nations of destruction to come.
Okay, Tabazor.
Because our people are amongst everybody.
Try not to give to you. Let me ask you this. What is our mission in the ISUPK? What is our mission, sis? Right? But what is our job in the UPK? What are we doing here? Yes, but who are... I want to give you the answer. Who are we here to... What are we here to produce? Time is over.
Oh, Salaki, the 144.
144,000, right? What is the 144,000's job? Doriana.
To govern the nation.
To govern the nation. To govern who?
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Time is over.
To govern the earth.
Everybody. to govern everything. So when we stand on the street and say America is going to be destroyed, who is that a warning to?
It's to everybody. It's to the Lord chosen people so they can know, and also to heathen so they can know what's coming.
Exactly. That's why we get so many boot kisses. Because all we mostly talk about at camp is the destruction of America.
Right.
And white people know history.
Right.
And they know that every empire has its run. It has its, oh man, these guys were great. And then it has its downtrodden part. And they also know, the white people don't believe in God, they believe in karma. They believe the universe is going to get us back one day, and it just so happened to pay you back on your clock. So when we stand on the streets and say you are going into slavery because he that leadeth into captivity shall go, might go, shall go, could go, shall. You know what shall is, Mr. White Man?
Right.
Shall is it's pretty definite. Shall means it's going to happen. Well, guess what, Mr. White Man? You are going into slavery. But I didn't do anything. What did I do? Give me, you know what I need.
Right.
For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover you. When we talk about slavery, shame shall cover thee. We run that down to them, and they be like, but I didn't have slaves. You know what I want. Prepare slaughter. For what? For his children. No, for the ones who did it. For his children. Why? For the iniquity of their father. Okay, now, what do I need to do? Kiss boots? What do I need to do? Because they know they got to pay. They know that. They're businessmen and women. So they understand the business of paying someone back. They understand that. You don't. Because you're not businessmen and women. Because you are
Americans?
No.
Greeks.
No. Huh?
In captivity.
Yes, but give me the word that defines your captivity.
Slaves.
Slaves. That's why you don't understand that. Because you slaves. That's why. So, now give me Deuteronomy 4. Now read that verse again you just read.
It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 14. As obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts.
What does that mean? Go ahead.
That we were basically Greeks, like you brought up before.
Right?
We didn't keep the law.
So not fashioning yourself to the former lust. What does that mean?
That now we keep the law.
Yes. Don't act like you used to act. Change yourself. Change your way, not according to how you used to act. Act a new way. Don't fashion yourself to the former lust. The former things you used to do was sell drugs, kill each other, steal from each other, rape each other, molest each other, be pimps, hoes, all that. Don't do that anymore. Don't fashion yourself according to those desires. Keep reading.
To the former lust in your ignorance.
In your what?
In your ignorance.
In your wisdom.
In your ignorance.
In the Christian church is what?
Ignorance.
Go ahead.
But as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
What you should do is now be separate from what you used to be. Because the Most High says you are holy. You are separate. So in your holiness, don't do what you used to do. Don't think like you used to think. Be something different in this new person you are. Go ahead, Mahonga boy.
Salaki, sir. So when it say, so be ye holy in all manner of your conversation, like that's just this, that's saying like don't compromise. Like even when you on the job talking to your white supervisor or whoever, and y'all having to come, like, be who you are, you know what I'm saying? Especially who you are in this truth, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't compromise.
Like, don't start acting like you like pork because everybody around you like pork.
Right,
You know, hey man, I'm gonna eat that double bacon cheeseburger.
Right.
Oh nah, man, I don't eat that bacon. You don't eat bacon? Nah, I don't eat that kind of bacon. I eat beef bacon. I
Right.
eat turkey bacon.
Right.
But I don't eat, pork bacon. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, oh, that double bacon cheeseburger good. Man, I gotta try it, man. I gotta try it. Then you walk out and be like, nah, man, you don't eat no bacon. When you with us, man, they tried to get me to eat bacon.
Right.
Nigga, you didn't even stand up for the bacon.
Right.
You too weak to stand against bacon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's supposed to look at you like you are the authority. You are not human. Like, you fell out the sky and you just supernatural holy. That's what you're supposed to be. And everybody's supposed to be like, man, where this nigga come from? Man, this nigga, he don't do nothing. But he cool though. He go out, they in the club. Every time I'm in the club, they in the club.
Right.
I walk up to the bar, they at the bar.
Right.
I mean, I see them talking to every woman in the club. I can't talk to no woman because they talking to all of them.
Right.
So, like, what's the problem? Like, who are these niggas? They got the Bible. I just seen them 3 hours ago. They was standing on the corner with the Bible, had some white man kissing their boo. Now 4 hours later, they in the club at the bar. Like, what? I'm confused. Who is these niggas? Where they come from? You know what I'm saying? I don't see them in the city. I don't see them at work. Like, do they got jobs? That's what everybody is. Do y'all work? Where y'all come from? What do y'all do? Are y'all from down here? Yeah, we down. I stay down here. Yeah, like, they confused. And that's what they should be. Because you are holy.
That's right.
You not like them. Now read Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
Kanawakan, sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom.
This is everybody's wisdom.
This is your
This
wisdom.
is the wisdom for the planet Earth.
This is your wisdom
Uh-huh.
and your understanding
Mhm.
in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of who?
In the sight of the nations.
What does that mean? Go ahead.
So like if I may, sir, basically like you were saying, like we go out in front of everybody and they see that we know better than them because we do better and speak wisdom.
Yeah, but it's more than that. This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. Never mind. Read the next part. It'll tell you. I'm going to give you the answer through the scripture. Read the next part.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
What does that mean?
Yeah, we have the breakdowns.
We got all the they gonna look at you and they gonna see how we move and they gonna be like, man, these people are outstanding.
Right.
Listen at the wisdom they have. Look, they all healthy. Look how they eat. They over there, it's a table full of, I don't see not one bacon. I don't see no lobster, no crab, no shrimp. Now just imagine you walk up on the table of 20 blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and see not one shrimp. Come on, you can't tell me that ain't holy. You can't tell me that ain't separate from everybody else in there.
Right.
When you go out to eat, if it's 3 of y'all, 1 of y'all getting shrimp in the world. If not all 3 of y'all. You might get the shrimp scampi, they might get the shrimp, the butter shrimp, and the other might get the Cajun shrimp. You walk up to a table of 20 and there is no shrimp, no crawfish, no crab or lobster, no bacon, no pork chop. What they gonna say? Damn, niggas different.
Right.
But it's some scotch on the table. You know what I'm saying? It's, no woman is safe. Hey, you want to come to these classes? You got class tomorrow. You need to come and learn the truth. Because you know a man can have more than one wife. But they don't understand that. They don't understand why we talk the language we talk. The other nations are going to look at us and say, what? Read it again. Surely what?
Surely this is a great nation, a wise and understanding people.
Go ahead.
For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them?
Why are they going to feel we're so wise? Is it going to be because of our own wisdom? What are they going to see in our actions?
So like if I make sure they're gonna see that we speak as the oracles of the Lord.
They going to know the Lord with us. They going to know that what we saying is of the Lord, not us. They going to be like, man, these niggas got God with them. We walked up on the club last year, and as we walked up on the club, the dudes in the front of the club said, man, you boys look like power. That's what he said. No, it's what they said. Multiple. We walked up on one group of dudes. They said we look like power. We walked up a little more. Another group of people said, man, y'all look like power. I'm talking about they use the word power.
Right.
Keep reading.
Common concert. For what nation is there so great who hath God so nigh unto them? As the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day?
That's it. That's your question? No sweat. Go ahead. Mom?
So yeah, I was just gonna say with that, like that's what we were supposed to be in ruling this earth. You know, like when these other nations looked upon us, they supposed to be like, man, how is it they so close to their God? Like the laws they follow. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to be on top of the hill. You know what I'm saying? And all these, like we were supposed to show the whole earth how you are not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, and bat heads, and rats, and dogs, and cats, and you know what I'm saying? And that would have put the whole earth in order if we would have remained on our job, you know what I'm saying? And push that throughout the whole earth, you know what I'm saying? So when they see us, even in our garden, and so it makes sense. I wasn't there for that, but I can see them saying we look like power, you know what I'm saying? Because we walk in a totally different spirit that is almost frightening to others. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They don't understand it.
And it's even crazier because in that walk, it's mind-boggling.
Right.
Because we black men like they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that is what the Lord gave us. The Lord gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments, these things to be separate from everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like we're supposed to show everybody how great our Father is through our behavior. The same way your children are supposed to show how great your parenting is when they go to school. When your kids go to school, as a teacher, you can tell who parents ain't doing their job.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got some kids that be like, yeah, all right, that's cool. And you got other kids that be like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir.
That's right.
Please, may I, please? Thank you. Man, this boy, he being trained. That's what everybody's supposed to say when they see us. Man, they are so nice. They so generous. They got manners. They having fun, clean fun. Hey, man, I seen that man step on his shoe and he said, man, you all right? Want me to buy you a drink? What you drinking?
Right.
That man got a drink because he stepped on his shoe.
Right.
Like, dang, these people are nice. That's what they supposed to see. But we not showing them that because we act like Greeks.
That's right.
And now we want to rumble in the jungle. We want to fight every time something happens. We want to, live the life that they live.
Right.
And that's why we so destroyed. Anybody else? Let me check this tube. Look like we good. Y'all ain't got no questions. I'm about to end this. All right, with that, we're gonna pass the class over to Trooper Yabakan.
Got both of them.
Go ahead and start on it. Oh, that's the holy days? Oh, Salaki, I gave you the wrong one. Y'all gotta keep that up on the podium, man.
We are the Isupk. Started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means the 10th in the Hebrew. MACHAATAZA. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Feast of Tabernacle. 15th day of the seventh month for 8 days. Thursday, October 1st through Friday, October 9th, 2020. Start before sundown. Leviticus 23 and 34 through 44. Akim and Aqua. Check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, headband. Boots, shirt, pants, and headband. Brothers and sisters, Google search the school and request directions prior to departure to school. Once arrived, click website button. If you have pictures, you can upload them here. And these are the security announcements.
With that, Amaja, Saw, turn to face the east. Say the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakwaka.
Malakwaka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Pratazayaka.
Pratazayaka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Asha.
Asha.
Parataza.
Parataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Hashamaya.
Hashamaya.
Latananawa.
Latananawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Call.
Call.
Wayam.
Wayam.
Masalaknawa.
Masalaknawa.
Kawawaknawa.
Kawawaknawa.
Masalaknawa.
Masalaknawa.
Kawawaknawa.
Kawawaknawa.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Ayanawa.
Ayanawa.
Manasaya 1.
Manasaya 1.
Above.
Above.
Ayashayanawa.
Ayashayanawa.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Ra.
Ra.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Saka.
Saka.
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa.
Wahala.
Wahala.
Wahatapara.
Wahatapara.
Awalamyam.
Awalamyam.
Aman.
Aman.
In the English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us.
Forgive us.
Our debts.
Our debts.
As we forgive.
As we forgive.
Our debtors.
Our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not.
To temptation.
To temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us.
From evil.
From evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Sir. Courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel. Madam Shabbat. Magic. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yazmatah. Sir. Turn face the sisters. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel. Madam Shabbat. Magic. Barak.
Yahshua Tabah Shem Yahshua.
Yazmatah. Dismissed.